Hey, this is Sam with the BYU Software Training Lab, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Procreate brushes. In the top right in Procreate, there's a little paintbrush symbol. If you tap on that, it opens up the brush library. That has all the brushes on your iPad. There are a lot of brushes that try to mimic real-world drawing devices. For example, Peppermint mimics a pencil. If I draw on the side of my stylus, there's a very broad stroke. If I draw with the tip, it's very thin, like an actual pencil. Another good one, under the inking tab, is the Studio Pen. That one's good for inking projects, things like that. It's meant to work like an actual studio pen. Syrup is another one. It's kind of fun. It's streamlined to let you draw very smoothly. Under painting, oil paint is fun. I like this brush because it mimics actual oil painting and oil brushes. See how it's distorting the ink that we already put on there? I'm only painting red, but because there's black, it's distorting it. That's like actual oil paint. Gouache, this brush down here, works like watercolors, where it kind of bleeds through. If you push harder, it's going to get darker and darker, but it works like watercolors more. The noise brush is down here under materials. That one's really good for adding texture. Right next to the paintbrush at the top is the smudge tool. We use that to smudge things. The smudge tool also has its own brush library, with the same brushes as the brush tool. That allows you to control exactly how you want things to smudge. Going back to the brush tool brush library, you can create a new brush by tapping the plus in the corner. We'll go over that more in depth in a different video. In the brush library, if you pull down on the categories, you see a plus button. You can add a new folder with all the brushes that you want. It's great for having your favorite brushes or the brushes that you're using for one specific task all in one place. For these videos, I'm going to mostly use a sketching brush. I like the 6B pencil, that's my personal favorite, but you can use whichever one you want. One thing that's really important for using brushes is the side control bar. The control bar lets you change things like the opacity, that's the bottom bar, and the size, that's the top bar. So if I want it to have 100% size and 100% opacity, it looks like this. I can take the opacity down, so it looks like this. I can change the size, I can make it really, really small. One thing that's really important is these little tabs. If you tap on the bar, a box pops up. If you hit the plus sign in the top right, it adds a little line in this bar. Wherever you are in the bar, if you tap on that, it takes you right back to that specific size. This way, you can remember a brush so you never lose it or forget it, even if you change your brush size or opacity. Those marks are saved only within this project. So anytime you come back to this project, those marks will be there. And that is brushes in Procreate. In the next video, we're going to talk about layers.